Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels and short stories. With me is Sam West. Today we'll be talking about the spell Hold Monster.
My microphone's not a monster.
Grr.
Sorry. I just like being dramatic.
Yeah. All right. Have we done Hold Person?
I don't know. This is
Maybe.
the same thing, but better.
Well, better. I mean, it depends on who you're up against, I guess.
It's true. If you're against humanoids, strictly worse.
Yeah. All right. What does it do?
All right. This is a really big and important spell because of a condition that it gives. It takes an action to cast. It's a 5th level slot. This is for almost all the classes outside cleric. So bards, sorcerers, warlocks, wizards, the full casters get access to this. Not druids either, notably. So no clerics, no druids. In any case, you choose a creature you see within the range. It makes a whiz save or is paralyzed for a minute. It doesn't affect undead. And at the end of each turn, it makes a wisdom save on a success it ends. So this is the classic saber die. This is I point at you, and if you fail this save, we're going to kick your ass. That is exactly what happens with Hold Monster, because the paralyzed condition means if you become paralyzed, your life is functionally over. A paralyzed creature is incapacitated, which means you can't take actions or reactions, automatically fails strength and dex saves, which means fireball is doing all of fireball damage, and every single thing that hits it crits it. So if you hit it with a longbow shot, it's a crit. If you hit it with a greatsword, it's a crit. If you hit it with 4 monk attacks, 4 crits. Really, really, really hard to not almost instantly kill something whenever you hold monster it, because if everything crits, like your rogue sneak attack damage, you're going to be dropping it quickly. Go for it.
Now, I was just gonna say this. That's all amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think even more so is that it's upcastable, and I think this is one of the spells that is most worth upcasting.
Yes.
Because this is not an automatic. This is a saver suck, right? This is
Yes.
you get to save, but
I interchangeably use saber suck or saber die, but yeah.
Whatever. But if you upcast it, you're casting it on multiple creatures, meaning the probability goes up that you're going to affect at least something.
Yep.
You know?
I would say for the most part, the only spells worth upcasting are the ones that duplicate their effects. So Hold Monster is a perfect example of it. You're getting, for higher level slots, more casting of lower level spells. So you can almost think of it like, for a 6th level slot, you're getting 2 5th level spells at once. And that's ridiculously good. For a 7th level slot, getting 3 5th level slots at once is absurd. Like you're basically saving 2 actions extra to cast it with a 7th level slot and hit 3 creatures all simultaneously. This is the conjuration magic has similar effects because you're doubling the numbers of things you're getting. It's like casting the spell multiple times on top of itself. If you compare that to like Fireball, which you just add a d6, that's casting the spell an 1/8 of the time more, as opposed to twice as many times. These effects double their effectiveness, which is why they are way more worth upcasting than a lot of the damage stuff, way more worth upcasting than even some of the area-based stuff.
That's I mean, yeah, you've done some fancy math there, but these are apples and oranges.
Yeah, I would still say that there's a lot more compelling reason to upcast Hold Monster kind of effects than there are damaging kind of effects, but especially because a lot of damaging
Fireball, you're getting an extra d6 always. Hold Monster, you're getting another chance to maybe paralyze something.
Very true.
I mean, you can upcast it, to 17th level or whatever, and you might not paralyze anybody.
That's true. Fireball will still be always doing at least half damage. That's that's why Fireball's so good. Still, even outside of like if you should upcast it or not, this is going to be a polarizing spell for players like me. I don't like spells that don't do anything when I cast them. And sometimes you're going to cast a 5th level Hold Monster and nothing's going to happen. You're going to be like, well, balls, I wasted my turn. This was so miserable. Not going to wait 10 minutes to try again.
Well, that's why I like the upcasting. You increase your odds of doing something. And that something is going to be significant.
And even when you do upcast this, right, this is the kind of effect where both, no matter how many creatures are affected, as long as one is affected, it's going to be good, right? Yeah. Because if multiple are affected, you can just ignore the other ones and not take advantage of the paralysis condition and just kick the shit out of one of them still, because that's what you're incentivized to do, right? If you got four storm giants, right, and you hold monster on all of them, if two of them pass, you ignore the other one that failed and you kill one of them that failed. If all of them fail, you're still killing just one of them that failed and waiting for everyone else to become unparalyzed while you're doing it, right? It's better with more failing it, obviously, but you're still not really upset as long as one of them is getting paralyzed. As long as one thing is getting crit a whole lot, you are very pleased with how this outcome came, even in the higher level options. Like if you compare it against a higher level saber dies like Maze, like Irresistible Dance, any of those kinds of power word stun, hold monsters leagues above them. Not even close comparatively. The only upside that some of them have is they get around legendary resistance the first time. If you're spending a 5th level slot and they're burning legendary resistance, you're pretty happy with that, because that means one of their very crucial things is dead for a more powerful, or for this to hit again later, or for some giant AoE damage effect. Like, there are ways to mitigate and challenge legendary resistances, and hold monsters are relatively inefficient or relatively cheap way to do it. And if they don't, and they do fail, they're screwed. They're just 100% gonna get smashed.
Yeah, I really like this one.
Yeah, it's good. It's an iconic saber die. This is, I think, the gold standard of saber dies as far as like the monster is still there. I think polymorph and banishment do something slightly different. Polymorph and banishment, you are really incentivized not to hit them. So you would do that as a way to remove them for a bit and then come back to them later. Hold monster, you want to hit them while they're paralyzed. So this is slightly different use cases, which is good. It's good that they're spells do different things, but
you could restrain them. You know, wrap some ropes around them or something.
You don't have to kill them.
Yeah, if you want to keep them prisoner, then you know, they're stuck there.
Sure.
You know,
I will say this: if you're trying to restrain something that is small enough that you can easily restrain it within the minute, it's probably a person. But if it's not, then yes, like restraining a because it gets saves at the end of each round, so you probably only get 2 or 3 rounds of paralysis realistically at its best case. So like I wouldn't expect to have a particularly long time to tie up the storm giant. I wouldn't expect to have a particular time to tie up the kraken, but you still can paralyze the kraken, and that's great.
Agreed.
This is a really boring. No, it's not boring. It's fun to use. It's not particularly deep. This isn't a spell there's a lot to talk about. It's I paralyze you and then you are murked. Like that's just what it is. It has the nice condition where like sometimes you can paralyze something that you don't necessarily need to sink a bunch of damage into right now, but it's like supporting something else. In those instances, a lot of time you probably just want to paralyze the thing it's supporting and then kill the thing it's supporting. But like there will be some cases where you can use this like a polymorph or like a banishment. It's probably a little bit more expensive than that, but it also does more in that whatever you're holding also can be immediately killed for more damage, and that's really meaningful upside.
Does paralysis that breaks concentration?
Paralysis I don't think breaks concentration, but every time they crit, it will certainly break their concentration.
Yeah. Okay. That'll do.
Yep.
Man, yeah, I guess we're done, right?
Yeah, this is a 5 out of 5. This is the saber die that you expect to be at this level. 100%.
I really like this one. This is a feel-good spell to use.
If you're a DM that likes throwing 1 or 2 monsters at your party, this spell can be a monster to overcome. Like this, if this is the tier of play where you should have figured out how to deal with single target removal like this, but if you still haven't, hold monster going to be a bear for you to get over. This thing it just debilitates encounters.
Or a lesson learner.
Exactly. This is a teaching tool. That's why it's a 5. It's so powerful it warps the game. You have to rethink how you DM around this sometimes.
All right. Well, that was Hold Monster. Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for listening and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.